Hello and welcome to the Audio Dad Chronicles. I'm Shale, and today we're going to take a trip through the virtual pages of Guitar World magazine via Dany from the Warning as she shows us some of her favorite riffs. So this one has been recommended countless times to me, and so we are finally going to get in, dig in, and do this. Dany sat down on a couch with Guitar World magazine and is going to show off some of her favorite riffs from her career. So let's let her. I've heard a lot about it. I've been wanting to check this out.
Hey everybody, I'm Dany from The Warning, and I'm here at Guitar World in New York City, ready to talk about some of the riffs.
Beautiful PRS. Hopefully she talks about the gear a little too.
Our newest album, Keep Me Fed. So we're gonna start with the first single that I love very, very much. This is a song called More. It goes a little bit like this.
Nice. Right. Definitely a good riff. I have heard that song, but it just occurred to me. The main reason why I've been putting this off is because I didn't want to spoil anything for myself. So I've been trying to power through as many of the Warning videos that I can possibly do, but you can only get through so many so fast, and everybody keeps asking for this one, and I didn't really know exactly what songs were on this to begin with, so I thought, heck with that, we'll just jump in. I might have the occasional riff spoiled for me, but I'm sure it won't be much deeper than that, so we're just going to let it be what it is. Let it roll.
So, first of all, what you need to know about this song in general is that right now I am in drop D tuning, but my pedal board is actually pitch shifting. It's half a step down, if I'm saying that correctly. So yeah, the original sound from my guitar is not the same of what's coming out of the amplifier. So that's interesting in and of itself.
I hope she elaborates on what in the world ever led her to do that. If not, for those that are not too initiated on guitar terminology, in short, what she said there was, first of all, she's in drop D. That's a term to say that, of course, I've got half a dozen guitars sitting over there and none in my hands. Wasn't expecting this to get into a gear lesson, so I'm not going to go grab one. But you know what a guitar looks like. She's got one there. Look at that. The very first tuning peg close to her is the lowest note, the E string. When you turn it down, when you detune a string, 2 notes, it becomes a D. And that's what they call drop D tuning. You've dropped it down to a D, and it is very commonly used for doing different types of riffs and different chord structures. You can do more with one finger to let your other fingers do other things. And then from there, she said that the gear on the floor, her pedal board that's doing the amplifier simulation and her effects and all that, it is pitch shifting. It is taking the entire signal and lowering it down another single note, aka a half step. So her guitar is in E standard, her E string is in D, and her whole guitar is being lowered to E flat standard, half a note down. Very interesting. I can only assume, and with an arsenal of guitars available to her, I mean, half the reason why I'm nobody, and half the reason why I own as many instruments as I do is oftentimes they're in different tunings. It's a convenience thing. If you want to write a song in E, you have that guitar. If you want to do a song in E flat, you get a different guitar. So to hear somebody who has a large number of guitars intentionally use digital technology to lower a note a half a step, different tone, different pitch, different everything than your ear is actively hearing versus what you're feeling. It's an interesting choice. That's all I'm going to say. Does it matter? No, but it is interesting. I guess that's where technology is these days, is you can use digital tools like that. They can lower the note a half step and you don't even notice it, whereas 20 years ago, 15 years ago, if you used this type of technology, you can tell it sounds pretty digital. It sounds pretty digitized. It's not necessarily the greatest sound. So kudos to the people making the technologies behind letting artists like Dany do this, because 10, 15 years ago, you would have just used a different guitar. But interesting. Very, very cool.
And for this album, I tried to step out of my comfort zone. You know,
Which I
I'm the
believe at the
only
age this would be
guitar
Keep Me Fed album
player on
specifically.
stage in the band. So I'm used to playing a lot of power chords, a lot of rhythmic stuff. And for this new album, we spent a lot of time in the studio along with our producer to kind of like shake things up a bit. So I'm doing a lot of different things that I haven't done before. One of the things being having riffs with a lot of bendings in it and just kind of like playing along with the band like you saw at the beginning. So I just have to get all those microtonalities out of it and get it right every time.
Has that not become the buzzword as of late in the industry with Engine de Poitrine and their microtonal guitar?
You know, if you play guitar, you can overbend or underbend any bending easily. So I have to just kind of get that all the time. It was quite a challenge. And I do that every night now at the live shows, which, by the way, we are on tour. So if you haven't seen us on tour, feel free to join us on stage and just rock out.
Cannot wait to see them live.
That's
Please come back to
part
Canada.
of this song,
West Coast
along
Canada,
with
not just Toronto.
the bridge, which gets kind of funky. Look at this. I love that riff.
Is it just me, or does that got a Muse vibe to it? I know they've opened for Muse. I know they're massive fans of them. They've covered them in the past. They've opened for them in the past. She is laying down her best Bellamy on that one, and I love it. He is one of my all-time favorite guitarists. Muse is one of my all-time favorite bands. I could go on and on and on about them. So let's not do that.
It makes me want to dance.
Maybe another time.
Like, if you see it live, you'll see me totally for sure moving around. But yeah, that's a good one of the first songs that came out of this new album. And one of the first ones we wrote, actually. But I have so many riffs to talk to you about this album that I'm going to change songs right now. Because one of the other challenging things that we had this time around was I tried new, for lack of a better word, equipment using things. Wait.
That's one of the things I'm really coming to love about them. Yeah, they're not just content to rest on their laurels, as they say, play the same gear the same way, write the same songs, and just fall straight into a legacy groove. They continue to push boundaries in technology, in songwriting, in their musicianship. They are all working so hard on getting better and better and better at their instruments and their craft and their singing and their screaming and using technology. I as an old guy who started his career as a roadie because he built amplifiers and modified guitar pedals, this is the kind of band that I just absolutely love to embrace.
Let me find the song real quick. This one is also in drop D, but regular drop D. So no pitch shifting this time. And I'm going to use a slide. The crazy thing about this riff is that I'm using what was used as the bending last time, but now for a longer time. So I can't have a bend go that long. You'll see in a minute. It goes.
The slide is the ultimate microtonal tool, I guess you would say. It's not an instrument unto itself, although some slide players would probably disagree. Dig that. Drop D tuning, where I mentioned that it allows you to do more with one finger, often bar chords, and that you bar the notes to create the chord. So therefore, slides are really, really useful for that. You can make a lot of good noise with a slide in drop D versus regular tunings. Most slide players who are playing a slide for more notes, more of the song, more of their general catalog, will usually use what are known as open tunings. It's an alternate set of notes on all of your 6 or 7 strings, which lend itself more to that single note, single finger vibe that a slide can bring.
And that's like the drop into the chorus of the whole song. It sounds amazing when the whole band just joins. But the crazy thing about this is that since I need this for that big riff moment, I need to play the whole song with the slide on my finger. Now, I'm not used to that at all. Even finding a slide that fit my tiny hand was a challenge in and of itself. So I had to learn how to play in a clean way without the slide getting in my way for like the rest of the song, which goes kind of a little bit like this.
Once it's on your finger, it's on your finger.
Which is normal. But then it goes. So having the slide not get in the way of that became like something I practiced a lot.
I can see that.
I love this riff, and along with my trusty pedal board, I get to harmonize it as well. So I go, and then I go for a bigger effect.
Cool.
Woohoo!
So, in short, a harmonizer effect that she's using on her pedal board does a doubling in this case, adding a second note at a predefined octave or interval to create that chord effect, that harmony effect. And then when she ties in the slide with multiple strings, you get this much bigger doubled effect. Almost emulates two guitar players.
So I may be only one guitar player on stage, but trust me, I'll figure out a way
She's making
to
a
make
lot of
some
noise with one
and
guitar.
just pull that, completely fill out that space of guitar, make ourselves present for sure. So that song's called Apologize. I didn't mention the name, but it's also very cool because my sister Pau gets to scream at the top of her lungs.
Nice.
It's such a great, energizing song for stage. There's a lot of songs that we play in drop D, actually. This one is called Sick, and it's also a very cool riff.
Okay, actually, that reminds me. By the time I get through this, I'm going to obviously have had a good opportunity to get my feet wet with a good number of the songs on Keep Me Fed. Maybe other songs from prior to this. We'll find out. Upcoming very, very soon over on my Patreon channel. I will be doing Keep Me Fed in its entirety. I'm going to have enough of a preview going on with this video. I thought the next installment of Spin the Black Circle, that is my series where I listen to a complete album front to back. I've already listened to Queen of the Murder Scene. I've already watched the Warning do a complete live concert at the Whiskey A Go-Go. So I think next up after this has got to be Keep Me Fed. I'm going to have it fresh in my mind about all these new tunes to me, that is. So I think very, very soon I'm going to be doing that episode, so do look for it over on my Patreon page. And if you like this and you want to see more content like it, but I'm not doing what you want to see, if there's a certain song by The Warning or another band, do let me know over on my Buy Me a Coffee page. You can go over there, leave a tip to say thanks for doing what you do. I appreciate it. You can sponsor videos. You can sponsor deconstruction videos where we do our stem separation, isolate all the tracks and listen into the individual instruments, including the vocals, on their own to deconstruct the song a little bit deeper. And since we're on the topic, if you could do a solid, do a like and subscribe to this video. Of course, do a like and subscribe to The Warning as if you haven't already, because that boosts us up in the algorithm, lifts us up, gives us a chance to make it to 6,000. We are on the way right now. We're getting really, really close, and I'm hoping we can get there before our 1-year anniversary in a couple of weeks as of the filming of this video. I really, really appreciate that. So anyways, let's jump back into the music here.
That I really, really love. Here it goes.
Already can hear Pau. I do know this song.
Woo! Now, the crazy thing about this riff, though, is that I am the guitar player and the lead singer of the band. So with this particular riff, I have to sing on top of it. So there's a lot of riffs on this album that had that kind of like, okay, how am I going to do the vocals and the guitar playing at the same time? I don't know if you will be able to hear this at the same time, but maybe I'm going to try and do the chorus because it's this riff and some singing. So it goes. Give me
such a good riff.
So I had to figure all of that out in my brain, and it just
practice,
worked
practice,
out.
practice.
So I had to practice it a lot. But some of the riffs in this album, kind of like, it's a complete mind game for sure. Talking about mind games, look at this. Okay, I'm gonna change guitar real quick.
Ooh. Are we gonna see that baritone over to her side?
Fender baritone that I have over here.
Dig this guitar.
So more about this guitar.
Baritones are fun. I need to get another one.
A baritone guitar, but I have it dropped as well. So the last string is not in B, it's all the way down to A. For some reason, I always looked at this guitar as a 7-string guitar without the first string, so I don't tune it like a normal guitar. And that's gonna come and haunt me at one point in my life, I'm sure. So yeah, the second string doesn't have that semitone difference as a normal guitar. So if I play a chord, it's not gonna sound like a chord. I don't recommend you to do that. But for me, it works. Apparently, I just learned how to use the guitar like this.
Wow.
So it's A, and then E, all the way down to A again, D. Then I go to a G instead of a G flat or a sharp, and then a normal B. So this is the string that is the weird one that should not be in.
I won't get too into the weeds explaining exactly what that means, but for those guitar players out there, I'm sure we're all going, what? My brain hurts. I mean, that just shows her brilliance. I could not begin to wrap my head around that tuning on the fly and then switch guitars to a normal tuning. That would just F me right up. So, wow. Good on ya. I love people that mess with guitar players, that mess with alternate tunings. They are way beyond my brain. That's why I play bass. I thought I was branching out and getting smart by having a 5-string. That's the most I can handle. I can only count to 4, usually.
G, but I am a little bit stubborn, so that's how I use it. And that's how I got used to it. So this song is called Sharks. It's one of the heaviest
this is a good tune.
In the album.
I think this is the first time I ever saw her with the baritone live.
Guitar for all of you with this song.
I reacted to them doing this live, that is.
Man, I could just see the mosh pit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the song that I saw a short come up on my feed of Pow, and it just had the caption underneath it, "Open Up the Pit," and I was like, I need to hear the song. What is it? I Googled it. It was Sharks. I did the reaction 5 minutes later. It's like, I need to know what this is. What is going on where Pow is outright saying, "Open up the pit. Let's get it going." I'm like, yes, I need this in my life. And it's a good song.
It's such a great riff to play, especially live and with my sisters. Just having that low end and just those low notes. I'm actually getting into like my sister Alice's bass territory, but I don't care. I love it. It's great. I love that riff as well. The song is called Sharks, and for us, you know, that semitone difference, like Jaws, is a shark. So that's literally why we named the song.
No, the infamous Jaws tone. It is just one note, then the next note up, semitone off. And it makes it dark and very ominous for that.
On that way, and we took that route.
Very cool.
But yeah, and in this song, we also have a cool bridge part. And I have to sing over that too. That was a crazy experience as well. But I love that riff. And fun fact, in the studio, actually, this last note, I took the tuner and just like dropped it down for the studio. But I was like, I need to get back straight away to playing live. So I just do like this exaggerated slide as slow as I can to get that same effect.
Very cool.
But again, it's one of the riffs I very much enjoy playing.
Ooh, shinies. I like that she's got the LED lights turned on the neck on her PRS, the green guitar off to the side. That's cool. I know that they're all built into all their instruments these days. This is neat just to kind of see it. That technology was definitely not around too often when I was roadieing, that's for sure.
Every night. Okay, back to the original song that I wanted to display on this guitar as well. It's called Automatic Sun. That's how it goes. And it's my favorite riff of all time that we've made ever. It just hits the right spot. Here we go.
So
There's nothing
cool.
I love more than just going.
I just love it when guitar players just want to make noise.
It's amazing. Ooh, this whole song, it's practically just like complete riffage. I don't have a single part where I'm not doing a melodic line on the guitar, so that was very new for me and very interesting.
Very
Hopefully
interesting.
I can make
Playing
a
it almost like a
song
bass,
later
like she
on
said.
and show you guys the whole song. One thing I would like to show you guys as well with this guitar, actually I have to tune it to a normal baritone notes, which is a B string for the last string. No more drop A.
In short, a baritone guitar is like a regular electric guitar, 6 strings typically, but it is tuned B to B instead of A to A. And the B is the same note as what a 7-string guitar player would have. It's one whole note, or pardon me, one whole string's worth of notes lower than the usual E. And the normal tuning for a baritone is the same as standard electric guitar. B to B, E to E, you're just lowering the notes equally in intervals. But she'd point out earlier on that her second string, so that's one up from the bottom, the second highest, she doesn't have it at the specific interval that a normal guitar would have. She's got it a half step off, making it, again, I'm not going to get too far in the weeds, but in short, what she was getting at there is one of her strings on the higher end of the things is a half step off from a normal tuning, so that would definitely mess with some people, me included. But here she is just tuning back up to a, quote, standard. But here she is tuning back up again to a, quote, unquote, standard baritone tuning.
Oh, no. Because I have a quirky little solo in this song that I get to... a little bit of that, okay? So it goes a little bit like this.
Oh, pardon me, not wah pedal, whammy pedal. Wah pedal is kind of like an EQ. I'm sure you know what the sound, the waka 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 sound that is used everywhere. Whammy pedal came about in the 90s. Some of the more notable artists to use them would include Rage Against the Machine and Pantera. It is a little different. It is a rocker pedal, but instead of changing the EQ to go wah wah, it's actually changing the note. It is a pitch shifter, and you can set it to go up 1 octave or 2, or down 1 octave or 2. And it looks like she's going up, I'm going to say 2. 2 octaves. They're so much fun. I love them. Using a tool like that and being able to craft a song utilizing it and making it sound good is a big challenge. Not everybody can do it. I have tried, I have failed. She's doing a good job of it here, though, making a very tasteful use of it.
Woohoo! That was a challenge as well, just to kind of get the synchronization of feet movement, finger movement, and just overall. But apart from that,
practice.
That
is the moral of the story.
Up, so I have to balance myself like in 1 foot, and I like to move around a lot. So I don't usually plan that out very well, and I'm just...
As a guitar tech roadie in the past, I have absolutely been the guitar player's feet, if you will. She's mentioning there the little bit of a juggle where she's singing, she's playing, she's got the pedal board in front of her, she's got to move that rocker foot, which means she's only standing on one foot while she's doing it, and kind of coordinating that all of that to keep the song going. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes artists, guitar players usually want to be hands-free, they want to be feet-free, they just want to cruise around and not have to worry about these things. So when they have to kick in an effect, when they have to sometimes even use a wah pedal or a whammy pedal, they don't want to do it themselves. Their guitar techs do it. And I have actually had guitar players' pedal boards on top of a stand in front of me as I'm tuning things, as I'm changing strings, as I'm getting ready for the next thing that's going on and making sure that there's a towel for the singer and all that stuff. I've also got to push a button, make sure to turn on the distortion at the right moment, or turn off that chorus pedal, or mute it, or whatever it might be. It's always a fun challenge. But it's always nice to see when, especially on something like this, that she's choosing to do it herself just because she wants that I was going to say hands-on, but foot-on control for her own.
Just kind of like tumbling while doing the solo, but that's
don't
just
fall
a me
over.
thing. I have to work on that actually. But yeah, that's also a fun thing about this song. I have a lot more to talk about this album, but for now, I think I'm gonna leave you guys to it and check the album out so you can see all the guitar lines.
I will be checking that out
probably
very, very soon. Look for that on Patreon.
I'll do another one with the rest of the songs. You never know. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
Well, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I got to do more of these behind-the-scenes, gear-oriented videos. That really, for me, is where my heart is the most centered at. That's where my brain wants to go to the most often. I'm always looking at the gear. I'm always thinking of the technology. How do they do that? How are they doing that behind the scenes? Whenever it's a live thing, I'm always looking in the background to see who's doing what, because for me, that's just my center. That's my home. So if you want to see more content like that, do let me know down in the comments what you want to see, the kind of video like that, what you want me to get more involved in. I'd like the opportunity down the road to maybe do some things like interviewing bands, whether we remotely through a camera like this or on stage with them looking at their gear and their pedal boards during sound check or whatever. We're working on a lot of these things in the background. Hope to bring some further content like that to you all in the very near future. And until then, I thank you all for coming along on the ride, and I hope to see you all again. Peace, love, and empathy to you all. Good night.